Hey, buddy. Knowing the right techniques for maintaining your landscape, shrubs, and trees will go a long way to helping them look better and maintaining their life expectancy. But when it comes to trees, there is one mistake that I see all the time when it comes to cutting the branches, and we need to change that. Now, when it comes to tree maintenance, a common task is to remove branches. Sometimes they're either dead or you're limbing them up. In my case, I have a branch that's dying here and I need to remove it. So a couple things to know about this task. A good sharp saw, of course, is very important, but more important than that really is the technique of the cut. So while it might make sense to just make one cut through from top to bottom, that is not best practices, and here's why. This branch has a lot of weight on it as you go out from the trunk. And as you're making your cut through it, before you get to the completion of the cut, this branch is going to start to tear away. The weight is going to pull it down. And as it does, it's bringing the bark with it. And the bark is just part of that branch. And the bark is going down into the trunk as well. And if you haven't cut through there and created a stopgap, the bark is going to tear down into the trunk and it's going to create this open wound, which invites pests and diseases, which you, of course, don't want. So how do you eliminate that? You do that with a 3-cut technique. It's called the 3-cut method, and that's what I want to show you right now as a way to prevent the risk of tearing that bark down into the trunk. So let's go ahead and get that started right now. Safety glasses on. Cut number 1 is not right up against the trunk, but it's out somewhere maybe 6 inches or 8 inches out from the trunk. I'll just go with about 8 inches here. And I'm going to make an undercut first, not from above, but underneath. This is my stopgap cut. And I only need to go about 1/3 into the branch because all I'm trying to do is create a place for that bark to stop as it's breaking away. I don't want the bark to keep going. And this cut is what will prevent the bark from continuing to tear away. So the first cut, undercut, about 6-8 inches out from the main trunk. 1/3 of the way up is fine. That's going to do it right there. Nothing major there. Second cut is the one that actually removes the main part of the branch. That one you want to do out another 6, 8, 10 inches from the undercut. So this is cut number 2, and this is the cut where I'm going to go all the way through. So just make sure that you're nice and secure. You feel like you've got a place to hold on to if something goes awry. But this is the time to go ahead and cut through, and I'm ready to go. Okay, now because this branch was mostly dead, it broke away fast and there wasn't a lot of bark to take with it. So fortunately, I did not need to worry about it even getting to this point. It broke away on its own. But a branch that's not dead, it's going to definitely take that bark unless you have that undercut there. Okay, now I can go here and make the finishing cut. And let me tell you where you make that and why this isn't a concern anymore. All the weight is basically gone, so this is a non-issue. Now I can make that cut from top to bottom all the way through, but there's a right and a wrong place to do that. The wrong place is right flush against the main trunk. There's not enough healing hormones in there once you open up the cut. What you want to do is go for the collar. So as you're looking at this, you see how it flares out, basically, to a point where it then tapers to the diameter of the branch. That's the collar. So for me, as I put my saw there, I'm looking right about there. And that's where I want to make the cut all the way through. Not up against the trunk, but out on the collar. That's where the healing hormones are. So once I expose this area from the cut, this is where it's going to heal over, callus over. That's what you're looking for. So here we go, all the way through this time. Now, as you get close to the finish of the cut, You want to slow down a little bit. You'll know when that's happening. You'll start to see a little bit of shake in the limb like that. And you want to slow down and just finesse the cut. You want a nice clean finish here so you don't have any raw tears here. And I like to take a hand and just hold that up a little bit, prop it up, just to get a nice smooth finish. Here we go. Just like that. So here's the cut right at the collar. This is going to callus over and completely heal itself. You do not need to put any tar or wound paint on here. Nature knows best. This will heal on its own if you make the right cut. So again, anything that your loppers or your pruners can't handle, you want to use something like a handsaw. That's my preference because I feel like I have ultimate control with a tool like this. And as you can see, it was the perfect tool for this job.